Lannon fights wife for custody of son. Read all about it. Good streak.
I see this action is Lannon versus Lannon. What is it all about, Constable Flavin?
Your Honor, it's the old story of a child who has been made the innocent victim of a Reno divorce. This action is brought to rectify that error, to remove that child, Bobby Lannon, from the improper custody of his mother, Mona Lannon, and return him to the tender and loving custody of his father, Millard Lannon.
You may proceed, Counselor.
As strange and sad as it may seem, we propose to show that the defendant mother is not a fit person to entrust with the care of a child of such tender years. That she is a woman with an ungovernable temper, bad habits, and addicted to overindulging in alcoholic drinks. That on numerous occasions she has been guilty of conduct unbecoming a mother in the presence of her child. I refer specifically to her relations with Donald Norton, her alleged fiancé.
No, that isn't true. He lies, Your Honor. I'm not that kind of a mother. I'm not.
Your Honor, my client is not herself. May I offer a motion for recess?
Granted. Court is adjourned until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Oh, Miss Winslow, I'm going to put you on the stand first thing in the morning. You better go over your testimony tonight.
The dirty heels.
What's the matter with you?
I'm not going through with it, Simmy. If you want to make a case for this rotten Millard Lannon, then you get yourself a new girl. Because I don't want any part of it.
Oh, it's like that, huh? Going sentimental on me?
Sentimental nothing. I wouldn't help you or anybody else blackmail a decent woman.
Now, take it easy, Jinx. That's merely your supposition.
Supposition, huh? Well, listen. Even a nitwit can see that Lannon's only trying to get his hands on that $5 million that his son Bobby inherited from his grandfather. Shh. Don't you shush me. And another thing. I'm surprised at you. I'm surprised that you'd sell the services of this agency to an unprincipled lawyer like Nat Flavin.
Now, don't try to tell me how to run my business, Jinx. I've taken Flavin's retainer, and there'll be a nice fee in it, if you deliver.
Yeah? Well, just skip it, will you?
All right. You'll either take the assignment, or you won't be working for Nationwide.
Well, now that just suits me fine. Thanks for firing me, Simmy.
Now what are you going to do?
Pull the cotton out of your ears and find out.
Police headquarters, 5th Precinct.
Hello, Dolan. This is Jinx. May I speak to Lieutenant Ricky, please?
Don't be so impulsive, Jinx. I was...
Hello, darling. Are you still in the marrying mood?
Yeah, sure. Say, what is this, a rib? No, of course I'm enthusiastic, but when?
Right now, darling, today. Well, you better make up your mind because I'm working out on Nationwide.
It's Jinx. She's quitting Nationwide and wants me to marry her.
You better say yes before she changes her mind.
Yes, dear. No, I'm tickled to death, but is there anything you want me to bring? Oh, sure, a ring and a bouquet.
Congratulations, Jake. This is Brody. Well, Jim is finally going to use that marriage license he's been counting out for 5 years.
Hello, dear. Yes, Brody will come. He and Murphy will be witnesses. Where do you want us to meet you? Swell. Goodbye.
I'm best man.
Congratulations, Jim. As soon as you're married to her, I'm going to ask the inspector to give you a medal.
A medal? What for?
For ridding the department of its biggest pest. Maybe when she's Mrs. Ricky, you'll be able to keep her from snooping around any more murders. Wait a minute. Yeah? Who? Millard Lannon. Oh, yes, put him on.
Lannon? Where have I heard that name before?
He's the guy who washed some dirty linen in court today.
Imagine that guy doing his laundry in a public place like that. What's this country coming to, huh?
Hello, Mr. Lannon. What can we do for you? What's that? You want police protection?
That's right. My ex-wife just phoned. Threatened my life. I suppose it's because I'm suing her for the custody of our boy.
He says you'll notify the radio car on my district.
That's swell. You're on record now, so thank him.
Thank you for your courtesy, Captain. Yes. Goodbye.
When we get through wrecking her reputation, the court will be glad to award you the boy's custody.
Nat, you're a bigger heel than I am.
Oh, Daddy! Daddy!
Eh?
I don't want to go back to school.
Well, you don't have to go back to school, son.
Oh, goody. Where am I going?
Down to Mr. Flavin's place at the beach. Remember? Used to play on the sand there.
Yeah. Gee, did I have fun.
All right, son. You run along.
Wait a minute, Bobby. Let's put your little hat on. There we are.
Chick. You've been drinking again. You're drunk.
No, I ain't. Just had a little snort to steady my nerves.
I thought I told you to lay off that stuff.
Ah, quit your squawking. I know what I'm doing.
That's enough out of you. Go on. Nat, I'm going to get rid of him. I'm not going to have him around the place any longer.
Don't be a fool, Millard. If you do that, he'll tell Mona all he knows. You've got to keep him until this case is settled.
No, I don't. I did a little checking up on him. I took the liberty of going through his trunk. I found out that he's an ex-con violating his parole. I'm going to turn him over to the police.
Well, I'm going home and get some sleep. You better get some, too, so you'll make a good appearance in court in the morning.
Sure. I will.
Good night, Millard.
Good night, Nat.
What's the matter, Chip?
Gotta get something out of the garage. You stay here. I'll be right back.
Hello, Mona. I'm glad to see you.
Millard, where's Bobby?
Take it easy, dear. Let's have a little drink first.
You took him out of school, didn't you?
Of course. The judge gave me the right to see him now and then, didn't he?
But you've never exercised that right. You...
I know I haven't been very fatherly, but I intend to try and make amends.
Millard, let's understand each other. It's not our baby you're interested in. It's money you want, isn't it?
I've got to live, and you'll have to admit I can't do very well on the pittance father left me.
Suppose I could raise some money. Would you be willing to drop the custody suit and give up all claims to Bobby?
Not all claims, my dear. But I might drop the custody suit for a consideration.
How much?
Well, I could get along on $2,000 a month until he comes of age.
Where can I get that much money?
That shouldn't be difficult. Norton ought to be gallant enough to protect the woman he intends to marry.
You leave Norton out of this. I've taken about all I can stand from you, Millard. I want to know where my baby is, do you hear? Right now, do you hear?
Still get hysterical about nothing, don't you? You're beautiful. I don't blame Norton for being mad about you. Mona! Come back!
What happened? Did anybody see you? What happened?
Come on, pipe down,
Who
break
did it?
it up.
You know it?
What is this, a convention? Come on, keep him outside there. Out, have it. Hey, where do you think you're going?
Oh, Brody, I want to see Jim.
Oh, no, you don't. Captain said if Jinx Winslow shows up, she'll be snooping for Nationwide again. So keep her out.
Oh, now, Brody, have a heart! Hey! Brody!
Then all of a sudden, a woman ran down from the porch and cut across the lawn. She was in such a hurry that she tripped over something and fell. But she got right up again, and the last I saw of her, she was running up the street.
Did you know the ex-Mrs. Lannon?
Yes. She was too snooty to be neighborly.
You think that the woman you saw running away from the house was Mrs. Lannon?
Oh, I couldn't say for sure. You see, she was all bundled up in a big gray coat, and she had on a light gray hat that came down so far that I couldn't see her face.
Gray coat and hat, huh?
Yes.
Thanks, Mrs. Widener. Ed, take this lady's name and address so she can be notified when the inquest takes place.
Here's Mr. Flavin, boss.
Hello, Nat.
Hello, Captain.
Have a seat. We'll be with you in a minute.
It's murder, all right, Murph. That wound couldn't have been self-inflicted unless he swallowed the gun after he shot himself.
That's right.
Well, here's the way I got it figured out. Lannon sues his ex-wife for the custody of the kid, and she threatens his life, and he asks for police protection. So naturally, when somebody rubs him out, there's only one logical conclusion to make.
Sure, the dame did it.
That's right, Brody.
Nat, did Lannon tell you that his ex-wife had threatened his life?
Yes, she did. She phoned him while we were having dinner here this evening.
Oh, then it was you that advised him to ask for police protection.
Yes, merely as a precautionary measure.
Do you know where Mrs. Lannon lives?
Yes, at the Royal Arms. And if you don't find her there, you might try Donald Norton's apartment at the Montecito.
Donald Norton? Who's he?
Her fiancé.
Come on in, Brody. Let's look around. Come on, we're wasting time. There's nothing here.
Okay, Jim. You and Brody go pick her up. See if you can get a confession out of her.
All right, come on, Brody. Don't let anybody in the house, man. Why don't you look where you're going?
Hey, Jim, look what I found.
It's only a heel. I thought you'd found something.
It is something. Didn't that woman say the murderers tripped over something when she was running across the yard? I bet it was this hedge. And I bet it tore her heel off.
Maybe you're right at that.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing I didn't look where I was going, huh?
Excuse me.
Step on it. Follow that car. Don't lose him.
Jim, let's get something to eat. Maybe I can think better.
If I could depend on that, I'd get you 5 steaks. This is it. We're looking for Mrs. Lannon.
Well, I'm sorry, but she's not in.
No, huh? Where did she go?
Well, I really couldn't say unless she's over at the Montecito with Mr. Norton.
What time did she leave?
Around 6:30, I believe. Why, has anything happened to her?
Well, not to her, but somebody just killed her ex-husband. Come on in, Brody. Let's look around.
May I speak to Mr. Norton, please?
Sorry, ma'am, but he ain't home.
Why, that's strange. He told me to meet him here at 8:30. Well, may I come in and wait then?
Sure, you all can come in. Have a seat, ma'am.
Thank you.
I hope you don't mind. I got to go ahead with my work, because Mr. Norton is awful particular about his pajamas and bath water. Hello? Oh, hello, Miss Lannon. No, he ain't got home yet.
Well, don't you know where he went? I've got to get in touch with him right away.
I'll tell him to call you. Just a minute. I better write them numbers down so I won't forget to remember.
Never mind. I'll write them down for you.
All right, what's them figures now, ma'am?
It's Parkside 17890. And please, tell him it's urgent. Thank you. Operator, give me Van Dyne 42460.
Come on, Romeo. We're wasting time. There's nothing here.
Well, don't leave town because I got some more questions I want to ask you.
Wait a minute, miss. I want to listen in on this call. If it's Mrs. Lannon, find out where she is.
Hello? Mrs. Lannon's apartment.
Hello, Elsie. Elsie, this is Mrs. Lannon. Something terrible's happened. I've got to get in touch with Mr. Norton right away. Has he phoned since I've been out? No, I've been phoning his apartment. Listen, Elsie. In case he calls, give him this number. Write it down. Parkside 17890.
Parkside 17890. Yes. Yes, I'll do that right away. Goodbye.
Thanks, miss. Give me the supervisor. Hello? This is Lieutenant Ricky, headquarters speaking, official business. I want you to trace this number for me. Parkside 17890.
Parkside 17890 is listed as the Palace Hotel on corner of Canal and Jefferson.
Who is it?
A friend bringing a message from Mr. Norton.
Come in. Well, why didn't Mr. Norton come himself? Is anything wrong?
Yes, he's hiding from the police. They think he murdered your ex-husband.
No, he didn't. I know he didn't. He couldn't have.
How do you know that, Mrs. Lannon?
Because I killed him. He tried to take my baby away from me, so I shot him.
Where were you when you shot him?
In the library.
And that pearl-handled revolver the police found, you shot him with that?
Yes. Now, please call the police, will you? I'm tired.
Mona, you're a lovable little liar. You couldn't have shot him. You see, the police didn't find a gun, and the bullet that killed your ex-husband wasn't fired from inside the house. Now, you're shielding someone. It's Donald Norton, isn't it?
But he didn't kill him, I tell you. I killed him.
Mona, don't try and kid me. I'm a private detective. Well, now, don't hold that against me. I'm your friend. If I weren't, I wouldn't be sticking my nose into police business to try and help you, now would I? If you let the police arrest you now, they won't look any further. And remember this, that the state can convict you on circumstantial evidence.
Hey, turn that thing off. You won't let the dame know we're calling on her?
It sounds like the police coming now. You better trust me to handle things. It's them, all right. They're pulling up in front.
What are you going to do?
Give them a mystery woman to chase. In my purse is a key to my apartment, 211 Pelton Manor. You gotta hide someplace until I can get rid of the cops. So go there and wait for me. Here, take these. Come on. Do as I say, and I'll try and find your boyfriend and send him to you. Now go on.
Thanks.
No. Upstairs.
You know, it did seem strange for her to register without luggage, but she paid for a week in advance. There's her room.
Got a pass key?
Yes, sir. Locked from the inside.
Open up or we'll break it in. Brody, get down the front way.
It's okay, buddy. It's me. Step on it.
Hey, you! Come back here! What's the matter? She get away? What do you think?
She got away.
Come on, get in that car and follow that taxi cab. Quick!
bucks in it if you can lose them.
They're as good as lost, lady.
Lost her.
Yeah, I wonder where that taxi could have went to.
Hiya, boss.
What do you mean, boss? I thought you took on a new one tonight.
Well, the Lannon case kind of left me waiting at the church.
Oh, that's too bad. Knocked you out of a husband, knocked this detective agency out of a big fee.
Listen to me, Simeon. You'll earn yourself a bigger fee. I want you okay to take Mona Lannon on as a client.
What are you talking about? The police suspect her of the murder.
Yes, and as usual, the police are wrong. She didn't kill her ex-husband. Lannon was killed from outside the house by a .45 revolver while she was inside.
Well, how do you know?
I found this shell outside the living room window. This will mean plenty to Mrs. Lannon if I find the guilty person. Why, if she's convicted, she'll lose her boy and the fortune that goes with him.
Just what are you going to do?
First, I want to talk to Donald Norton. You know, the fellow she's going to marry. I don't know if he'll see me because he knows I was hired by Flavin, but I'll try.
You suspect him?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you better after I talk to him. He lives right around the corner.
Go to it. Whatever you do is all right with me, as long as it's business for the Nationwide Detective Agency.
Okay, Simmy.
Let me get this straight, Flavin. You're asking me to let you defend Mrs. Lannon?
That's right.
I've got to admire you for your crust. After the way you maligned her in court, if she hires you, it'll be an admission of guilt.
Nothing of the kind. I'm the only man in this town that can save Mrs. Lannon.
What are you trying to tell me, Flavin?
I've got a card up my sleeve that will absolutely exonerate her.
What is it?
We'll talk about that later, after you've paid me a retainer.
Your ethics amaze me, Flavin.
Please, Mr. Norton. My ethics shouldn't concern you when the police are looking for your fiancée to arrest her for murder.
What about it? How do I know you really have it? Just have to guess. Poor way to do business. Maybe so. Mrs. Lannon is in this spot.
Regardless of what you or anybody else thinks, I don't believe Mona shot Lannon.
Police do. I have a witness who saw her rush out of the house right after the shot was fired. The department is going to pin this on Mrs. Lannon or you.
Pin it on Mrs. Lannon or me?
That's right.
Are you insinuating I did it?
You might have. You had plenty of provocation.
Flavin, I'm going to let you defend me.
Defend you?
That's what I said.
I get it.
What's your price?
I want a retainer of $10,000 in cash.
I won't be able to raise that kind of money till late tomorrow.
That's all right. Have it at my house tomorrow night.
Where do you live? 1, 2, 3, 3. Now this way. Where's that? All right. Who is it?
We're police officers. Open up.
Just a minute. Well, hello, Mr. Flavin. Since when have you two been buddies? Since when have you two been exceeding your authority? You got a search warrant?
We don't need one. We're looking for a woman fugitive. Come on, Brody.
Just a minute. What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
I suppose you asked Mr. Flavin up here for a friendly little game of ping pong, not to cook up an alibi for your fiancée. Well, it won't work, Norton, because we have a witness that saw her running out of the house after she killed him. And I'm going to hold you as a material witness. Now, if you don't mind, we'll take a little look around. That's far enough. I've got you covered. Keep your hands up or I'll shoot, and I'm not fooling. Come here, Flavin. And now, if you gentlemen will kindly step into my study, over there to your left. Go on. You too, Flavin. You can't get away with this, Norton. The goal will be a whole lot tougher when we catch up with you. That's my worry. That deal still goes, Flavin. I'll get in touch with you tomorrow. Go on, get in there. Keep the officers company.
Don't move, Norton. Now you can turn around.
Hey, Jim, I hear a woman talking out there.
Where did you
I'll ask the questions. Take me to the service elevator and make it snappy.
It's the Lennon thing. All right, Brody.
Boy, this is going to be a tough one.
Tell me something. Did you send for Flavin or did he contact you?
Well, Flavin got in touch with me. Proposed my hiring him to defend Mrs. Lennon.
That's what I thought you'd say. Then you did send for him because you knew Mrs. Lannon didn't kill her ex-husband.
Are you insinuating I did?
I'll put on a new record. I heard you tell that to Flavin.
Well, what makes you think I did then?
Lannon was killed by the same caliber gun as yours.
Well, supposing I did.
Then you better surrender yourself to the police before they arrest your fiancée. She's ready to confess the crime to shield you.
She mustn't do that. I was going to give myself up, but I wanted to see her first.
I know where she is. If I take you to her, will you give me a confession?
Yes.
All right. I want Lieutenant Ricky to get the credit for your arrest.
Anything you say. Mona, darling.
Don't. I've got to know the truth. Did you do it?
No, dear, I didn't.
Oh, I've been so afraid.
Say, wait a minute. What is this? On the way over here, you're ready to confess you did it, and now you say you didn't do it. Now, which is it?
I didn't shoot Lannon, but I'm still willing to confess. I'm not going to let them arrest Mona for something she didn't do.
Yeah? Well, you do a stupid thing like that, and you'll be giving the police all they need to pin the murder on both of you. Look, you might as well stay here for the time being. It's the last place in the world they'll think of looking for you.
Miss Winslow, you've been awfully kind, but I can't stay. I have to find Bobby or I'll lose my mind.
Your boy? Why, I thought he was at the Pinecrest School.
Well, he was, but Millard had Chick take him away.
Chick? Who's he?
Chick Jerome. He was Millard's chauffeur. He could have killed him.
Well, why would he want to kill his employer?
Well, they hated each other like poison.
Well, then why didn't Lannon get rid of him?
He couldn't because Chick had too much on him.
Oh. I see. Do you happen to know where this chick lives?
No, I don't.
Say, maybe Flavin knows where he is.
Well, Nat Flavin. Well, that's right, he might. I'll get in touch with him. Oh, say, could I interest you in a business proposition?
Well, what is it?
Well, why don't you let the Nationwide Detective Agency find Bobby and protect your interest by turning up the real murder?
And you're the Nationwide, huh?
That's right.
You got yourself a job. You're hired.
Well, thanks. Can I make you a cup of coffee?
Well, certainly.
Love it. Come on.
Well, it's about time. Where have you been? Why didn't you phone? Did you get her?
No, we trailed her over half this city, but we finally lost her in Norton's apartment.
How come?
That guy Norton pulled a gun on us.
What?
Well, we didn't have any reason to suspect him, and he got the drop on us.
Well, the inspector will certainly like to hear about this. Come in.
Say, Rick, the messenger just left this box for you. I thought it might be important. It's got something on the card.
Watch out, maybe it's a bomb.
For Lieutenant Ricky, a clue in the Lannon case from a friend.
That's your gun that Norton took away from me.
Yeah? Well, nobody's going to make a monkey out of me. I'll pull them both in now, or I'll give the inspector my badge.
Well, you better get somebody. You won't have to give the inspector your badge. He'll take it.
Now, don't get excited, Murph. Look,
What's this?
Brody found at the scene of the crime.
What about it?
Well, remember that Mrs. Widener said that the woman that ran out of the house fell down? That's the reason she fell. All we have to do is find the slipper that heel came from. We've got our murderers.
Yeah, that's something. All right, Cinderella. Get a couple hours shut-eye. When the shoe store's open in the morning, check on it.
Come on, Brode. Hey, Brody. Remind me to call Jinx in the morning and apologize for not coming back.
It'll take more than a phone call to square that. That reminds me. Jinx was nosing around in Lannon House. I think she's back with Nationwide.
She better hadn't be. I told her to keep her nose out of this case. Hello? Ricky? Oh, hello, Jinx. What are you doing up so late? Say, Brody tells me you were snooping around the Lannons.
I was not snooping. Now, look, dear. If you arrest Mona Lannon for the murder, you'll be making a laughingstock out of yourself. She did not shoot him.
That's what you say. I say she did. And I've got just what it takes to pin it on her.
No. She couldn't have done it. Whoever killed Lannon shot him from outside of the house. That's why you didn't find the gun.
Jinx, you're talking through your hat. It's plain as day that she did it.
You're wrong, Jim. A man did it. What? Well, all right, Stubborn. I was only trying to do you a favor. If you don't want it, it's okay by me.
What's the matter? She hang up?
What do you think?
She hung up.
Yes?
Miss Winslow from the Nationwide Detective Agency to see you.
Send her in. How are you, Miss Winslow?
Fine, thanks.
What's on your mind?
Well, Nationwide just got a tip that the Lannon boy was taken out of school by the chauffeur, Chick Jerome. And they're both missing, and Simmy wants to know if we should cover it.
No, that won't be necessary. I know where they are.
Oh, well, that's all right, then. I thought Mrs. Lannon had something to do with it.
No, she didn't. But Mr. Lannon was afraid she might do something and suggested keeping the boy at my beach house, pending the outcome of the custody suit.
Oh, I see.
Now, with the father dead and the possibility of the mother being convicted of murder, there had to be someone to look after the boy's interest. So I went before Judge DeWitt this morning and had myself appointed the boy's temporary guardian. Later, I expect the court to make it permanent.
Well, I guess that's that. If we could be of any service to you, just give us a ring.
I most certainly will.
Goodbye, Mr. Flavin.
Good day, Miss Winslow.
Hello, Nationwide? Oh, Benny, this is Jinx. Get me Simmy, will you? Oh, he's always out when I want something. Well, look, Benny, I've got to have some information in a hurry. Yeah, get me a list of all the property recorded in the name of Nat Flavin. That's right. And rush it over to my apartment by messenger, will you? Thank you.
And in spite of the dragnet we've thrown over the whole city, we haven't been able to pick up Mrs. Lannon or Norton either.
Oh, Murph, things aren't as bad as they look. If Brody pinches that dame at the shoe shop, our worries are over.
All right, Inspector.
All right. But I'm pretty well fed up with the way you've been handling this Lannon case. Why has no arrest been made? I've got a hunch that Jinx Winslow is muddling up things again. Well, come on. What is it? Say something. Speak up.
Didn't you get my report?
I most certainly did. And as far as I can see, you've accomplished nothing. Absolutely nothing. No clues, no arrests, no sense. Only a heel.
Well, Inspector, the heel may solve this case. You see, we located the shoe shop where that dame brought the slipper in for repairs. I'll lay you odds it's Mona Landon. I've got Brody down there to make the pinch.
Yeah, well, I've heard that before.
Yeah? Send them in. Brody's bringing in the woman now.
There you are. What did I tell you, Inspector? Now, you let me handle this, and I'll show you how to get a confession.
Well, Mastermind, I suppose this is one of your bright ideas. And I suppose you realize that this numbskull has just given me grounds for a false arrest suit.
Brody, what's the meaning of this?
You told me to fetch in the dame that belongs to the heel. So I did. She's it.
Jinx, is this the heel off of your shoe?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I lost one last night.
Where?
Outside the Lannon home.
Oh, so you were snooping around.
No, not snooping, darling. Looking.
For what?
Nationwide.
I thought you'd given up playing detective.
Well, I did. But when you walked out on marrying me, I had to get my job back.
Young lady, what business did you have prowling around the Lannon premises?
An assignment, Inspector. Nationwide was engaged by Mr. Flavin to protect his and Mr. Lannon's interests.
This thing has gone far enough, Ricky. I want results. I'll give you just 24 hours to bring in those suspects, or you'll be walking a beat in the sticks.
Well, I could have told you where to find them, Jim, but you wouldn't listen to me.
You know where they are.
Why, yes.
Where?
Wait a minute, Inspector. You don't expect to get any information out of me using that high-handed police method, do you?
Do you realize that I could throw you in jail for withholding such knowledge from the police?
And I could sue you for false arrest, too.
What?
Oh, I'm not going to do it. I'm kind of sentimental about your police department. So if you put aside your masculine vanity and give me a little cooperation, I'll give you some in return.
All right, it's a deal. Now, where are they?
Why, over in my apartment.
Oh. Ricky, what are you waiting for?
Yes, sir. Come on, Jinx.
I tell you, it won't do any good to question them. They don't know who killed Lannon.
Well, just the same, I'll feel better when I hear their story.
All right, curious. But remember, none of your bulldozing tactics. Don't be rude, dear. I'll take my mail if you don't mind. Mrs. Lannon! Mrs. Lannon! They aren't in there, Jim.
No, they're not in there either.
Well, I guess they went out.
They went out, probably on their way to Honduras. Do you know what they can hand you for compounding a felony?
What felony, dear?
Now, don't dare me. Harboring a suspect is compounding a felony.
Oh, I've told you before, Jim. Mona didn't kill her ex-husband. She couldn't have.
That's what you say. If she's so innocent, why did she take it on the lam?
Jim, when are you going to use your head for something besides a place to put your hat?
When are you going to stop sticking your nose in the police business?
I'm a detective, dear.
That's perjury.
Oh, Jim, why do you have to be so mean? I'm only trying to help you.
I can solve this case very well without your help if you'd only stop muddling things up.
Well, all right, if that's the way you want it.
Oh, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but this case is driving me cuckoo, and you're not helping me a bit. Jinx, why don't you stop trying to play detective?
Why don't you stop picking on me?
All right, all right. Look, I'll take you to dinner tonight. After dinner, we'll slip over the justices and get married. What do you say? All right, meet me at headquarters at 7, huh?
Good night.
Bye.
Give me Harold 2000. Yes, ma'am. Hello, Simmy. Listen, I just got a hot lead on the Lannon case. Yeah. I'm going over to the zoo to see a Mr. Lyons. Uh-huh. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, miss. Maybe someday I can do you a favor. Come on, Brody. Forget that puzzle.
Wait, boss. I think I got it.
Forget it. We gotta make a hurry call.
Oh, you went further. So the birds have flown, huh?
Yeah, but I've got a hunch we'll find them at the zoo.
Well, it's none of my business where they go. But if I was on the lam, I wouldn't stop to look at no animals.
Then Flavin tells me he's keeping the child at his house. Had himself appointed the boy's guardian.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not so sure there isn't. Flavin getting the guardianship of that child is all part of a scheme started with a custody suit. If I could just go through his personal papers, I've got a hunch I could solve this case, Simmy.
You're not asking much.
It isn't what I'm asking, it's what I'm going to do. What do you think of that?
Well, how are you going to do it?
Tonight. After everybody's out of his office, I'm going to turn that place upside down.
Jinx, if you do that, you're on your own. Don't put me in with it.
Don't worry, I won't. Well, I'll see you in jail. Good evening.
Good evening.
Don't pay any attention to me. I'm Mr. Flavin's new secretary. I just came back to get a few letters out.
Oh, that's all right, miss. I'll be through in just a moment. Well, good night, miss.
Good night.
You won't forget to turn out the lights, will you?
No, I won't.
Frank?
Oh, hello, Nat.
Well, how are you making out in the Gray case?
Pretty good.
That's fine.
Say, that was too bad about Lannon, wasn't it?
Yes, it certainly was.
Good evening, Mr.
Evening. Oh, miss. Would you mind opening my door? I forgot my keys.
The door is open, Mr. Flavin. Your new secretary's in there.
My new secretary?
Yes, sir. She's in there writing some letters.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Just a minute. Maybe it's for you. Hello?
Brody, let me talk to Jim. Hello, dear. Oh, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. Yeah, I know you won't mind when you hear what I've got to tell you, though.
Don't you realize that we had a date tonight at 7 o'clock? What's the big idea?
Well, I wanted to call you sooner, but I couldn't get to a phone. Yeah, I know, Jim, but... Well, our date'll keep and this won't. Now, get this. I'm at Nat Flavin's office.
Flavin's, what are you doing there? How long do you think you can keep me waiting? I'm hungry.
Oh, stop yelling. I've solved the Lannon case. I've got it all figured out. No mistakes this time. I've got all the evidence. If you don't stop talking, I'll hang up. Now, here's the dope. I've just discovered that...
Just what are you doing here, Miss Winslow?
Why, I was waiting to see you.
Waiting to see me, huh? So you amused yourself by going through my private papers. I can see that I underestimated your intelligence. You're very smart, Miss Winslow. And I'm afraid a little bit too smart for your own good.
Well, now that you've found me prowling your office, why don't you call the police?
I wouldn't think of embarrassing you in front of your boyfriend, the lieutenant.
Thanks. Maybe I can repay the favor sometime. So, I guess I'll go now. Good night, Mr. Flavin.
Not so fast, Miss Winslow. I'm not finished with you yet.
Don't be so melodramatic. Lieutenant Ricky knows I'm here, and any minute now he'll be coming after me.
He may be coming after you, but I don't think he's going to find you.
I'll tell you another thing. That's the last time she'll ever hang up on me. I'll fix her so that she won't ever...
Now, wait a minute, boss. Don't get mad at her, or she won't marry you. And if she don't, we'll never get her out of our hair.
Brody, we're gonna pick her up at Flavin's, and win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna marry her tonight. Come on.
Now you're talking, boss. Okay.
Wait a minute. Did you find that ring?
Ring? Here we go again.
Oh, never mind. We'll find another way. Come on.
Well, she ain't here.
No, I guess it's another one of those runarounds.
What are we gonna do now?
I'm gonna go get something to eat, and I ought to get down to headquarters and turn in my badge.
You mean you're gonna resign?
Before she drives me insane. Wait a minute, somebody's been here.
How do you know?
Well, the typewriter's uncovered. Nationwide Detective Agency, confidential report, Operative Winslow, case Lannon murder. So she was here. Possible murder of Lannon, Nat Flavin. Motive to get control of the $5 million estate willed to Lannon's son, Bobby. Opportunity, one of the last persons to see Lannon alive. Supporting evidence. Flavin's financial standing. Possibility of a Lannon will in Flavin's favor. Flavin's beach house at 20233 Mara Vista Road as possible whereabouts of missing Bobby Lannon. So Flavin's the guy we want.
Flavin?
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, maybe we both ought to resign.
Maybe we better get down there right away. That Bonnie Dame probably went down there alone. She'll stick her neck out once too often. Come on, step on it.
Kept you so long? That Winslow dame. I caught her in my office going through my personal files. And she was just about to tip off the police. She's in the back there. We've got the winning hand. All we've got to do is play it right. Have my guests arrived yet?
Yeah, they came in.
Now listen. As soon as Norton pays me the retainer, I'll take care of them upstairs. So when the police find them, it'll look like a suicide pact. The gun will be the same that finished Lannon.
I get you now.
And we'll take the boy to my apartment. So in case anybody should inquire, I was there all evening.
We were there all evening.
That's right. You better go in the back lane.
Hey, slow down, Brody. The house ought to be right along in here someplace.
Good evening. Sorry I'm late, but something very unexpected detained me.
Where's Bobby? You said we'd find him
Be
here.
patient, Mrs. Lannon. There's a little business matter to be settled first. Isn't that right, Norton?
The business can wait, Flavin. Mrs. Lannon's entitled to know where her boy is and see him, isn't she?
It's a debatable point.
Why is it? Who has a better right? I'm his mother.
Of course, but this morning the court appointed me his guardian.
You? Why, what right have
Please,
you...
Mrs. Lannon, you seem to forget that right now you're suspected of having murdered the boy's father.
You know I didn't kill him.
Maybe not, but the police still think you did. I'll have to prove your innocence before you can regain the boy's custody. However, you should be glad I was appointed the boy's guardian. I'll let you see him whenever you wish. And now, Norton, shall we conclude the deal we discussed over the phone this morning?
Yes, let's get it over with. The money's right here.
Fine. And now, if you'll excuse me a moment while I put this in my safe, I'll be right back. Now, Jake, fix up a couple of drinks for them.
There's a motor running someplace.
Yeah, it sounds like it's inside the garage.
Let's take a look. Open it up.
Gas.
Yeah. Let's look at the registration slips. Hey, Broad, kill that motor and take the key.
Hey, Jim. This is Flavin's car.
Yeah, that was Lannon's, the one that's missing. Look, set your watch the same as mine, and in 3 minutes after 10, you crash the back door. I'll take the front.
Okay.
This one's yours.
I know, I've been watching you. Now take a look upstairs. Then take the dame out of my car and put her in the motorboat. Here we are. Now, will you join me in a drink?
Don't move, Flavin. You're under arrest. Frisk him, Brody.
What's the meaning of this outrage, Ricky? Have you got a warrant?
I don't need one. I'm arresting you for the murder of Millard Lannon.
You should be arrested for being such a numbskull. Murder my meal ticket. Isn't that rich?
I'll say it's rich to knock off a guy for a $5 million estate. What are you two doing here?
We came here to get my boy.
Oh, well, take a look around. See if you can find her. Now, Flavin, what have you done with Jinx Winslow?
Jinx Winslow? I haven't seen her since the other morning in court.
She was in your office tonight and left me this note.
Maybe she was in my office, but I didn't see her.
You're lying, Flavin. Listen, I'm taking you in for the Lannon killing, but that doesn't satisfy me. You're gonna tell me where Jinx Winslow is, or I'm gonna take you apart. Now, start talking.
Don't mark him up too much, boss. Remember what the commissioner said.
Freeze, Toppers.
Okay, Jake. Now turn around, Mr. Ricky. Frisk him. Here he is, Mona. Come on, we've got to get him out of here. I'll stay there.
Get on your feet. Come on. Oh, resisting an officer, huh? Why, you...
Well, nice work, Brody. Looks like we got this case cleaned up.
Where's the other guy?
He's outside waiting for us.
Outside?
Oh, don't worry. He'll stay there. He fell out the second-story window.
That's too bad. There should be steps there.
Jinx!
Jimmy, how'd you get here so soon? Look, it's Flavin. I got him as the murderer, see?
Yes, I know. That's swell, but what's the matter with you?
Oh, stop spinning around and I'll tell you.
I'm not spinning. It's you.
Well, catch me next time I come around, will you?
You poor kid.
Oh, Jimmy, I don't want to be a detective anymore.
Do you mean that?
Is it too late to get married?
Brody, the ring.
Here we go again. I found it. Oh, it got caught in the puzzle. Now I gotta figure out how to get it off.